but they support a president in this administration who is against DEI. I mean, that is just the reality. And I don't know how many times
you've worked with Republican members.
I've worked with Republicans, and I don't know how many times even.
You think all of them are racist? You said the entire Republican Party.
They're
That's
against
half
DEI.
Of the country.
I'm not
You're telling me half of the country is racist?
Fine,
I mean,
then I'm not saying.
Guys, last night on Abby Phillip's show, MAGA panelists got destroyed. The topic of the show was whether Trump is a racist person or not. Now, guys, if you ask me, Trump is probably the most racist U.S. president we've ever had. I mean, he's been posting so many racist posts on his social media. The man is full of racism, and I don't think anyone can whitewash that. Just a month ago, he made a post on social media in which he compared black people to apes. It was a video of apes with their heads replaced by Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. I mean, come on, man. You're the goddamn president of this country. How can you even think of posting such crap? I mean, the man behaves like a 12-year-old. And guys, one thing which I can't really wrap my head around is that Trump got 77 million votes in the 2024 election, which to me was super shocking. Even after seeing his racist behavior and hate-filled campaign, that many Americans still supported him. It basically means 77 million Republicans are in support of his racist and sexist behavior, which I think is disgusting. I feel like the majority of Americans are totally okay with the hate he spreads. They either pretend they disagree or are quiet about it. And what really pisses me off is the fact that these Republicans call themselves the true Christians, and yet not one Republican is ready to call out their crap leader's racism. In last night's Abby Phillip show, MAGA panelists had zero real arguments to defend the orange man. Still blabbered throughout the show, they didn't have the guts to say that, yes, Trump is a big racist person. And to be honest, guys, I don't expect any truth from these MAGA cultists either. These people are all the same. I'm going to roll the video first, and I'll give my opinion as we go.
2 weeks after posting a video depicting the Obamas as apes, and as his administration is right now actively fighting a judge's order to restore slavery exhibits in Philadelphia, Donald Trump again sought to prove that he has black friends. At a Black History Month reception today, Trump name-checked a number of black celebrities who he said supported him.
How about Nicki Minaj? Do we love Nicki Minaj? Right? I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. Herschel Walker speaking about loyal. How good a football player was Herschel? I would say there can't be a greater football player than Jim Brown. By the way, Lawrence Taylor, great friend. Lawrence, the great Lawrence Taylor. Muhammad Ali, who was a friend of mine. I put a picture of myself and Muhammad. It was another piece of work. You talk about a piece of work. But he could fight, couldn't he, huh? Mike Tyson, boy, I tell you, Mike has been loyal to me. Whenever they come out, they say, Trump's a racist. You know, it's like a statement. Trump's a racist. Mike Tyson goes, he's not a racist.
It's like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving going, with the thing. And like, what are we doing? Like, what was that? Why would he think that based on his recent track record that any of that flies?
Because anybody who's accused of racism or homophobia or discrimination says, here, look at my black friend, look at my Latino friend, look, I actually have a Jewish friend. I can't be anti-Semitic. I mean,
I wouldn't want to be the intern that had to remind it was Black History Month. Mr. President, you told me to let you know when it was February. Yeah, I know. Get the podium out there. Let's get this over with. He didn't want to be out there.
Well, look, I think actions. I'm a big actions speak louder than words type of person. He may have all the friends in the world, but when he's trying to take slavery off of an exhibit in Philadelphia, that speaks very loudly.
So I'll address the first part, then I'll get to that. I think he needed to celebrate Black History Month. I'm not aware of any year from the previous term that he didn't celebrate it, and I think we'd probably be having a very different conversation tonight if it wasn't acknowledged, considering the history of black Americans in this country. That said, the Pennsylvania thing is a bit concerning to me. I don't understand why this would be a priority for any lower level cabinet person focusing on removing exhibitions about slavery. There were some things I think about women's rights, maybe LGBT individuals as well who've made historical contributions. It's not necessary. It's very divisive. We have midterms coming up. We already know the economy is an issue that Republicans are struggling on. And the point that I'm trying to make here is when you've had a very diverse coalition, electorally speaking, in 24, you're going to fragment that very necessary coalition of very persuadable voters that you need to turn out, because some of those folks may be frankly turned off by some of this.
These MAGA cultists are so shameless. They'll go to any lengths to defend that orange man. I still remember this. When Trump got into office, the first thing he did was he ordered his staff to remove the photos of Obama. I mean, this is an extreme level of racism. And seriously, guys, I can't wrap my head around this. How can a man who's the president of the United States even think about doing such a racist thing? I mean, it's just insane how much he despises black people. And guys, it's not just him. The entire MAGA community has been trying to dehumanize black people, and not just blacks. They're doing the same to browns, Latinos, every other non-white community. ICE has been doing racial profiling from day one of Trump's presidency. Who allowed it? Donald Trump. Not one Republican spoke against it. At this point, it feels like it's a test. They keep expanding the Overton window. Over time, you'll become numb to it. So when they do something outrageous, you'll barely even feel it. It'll feel just normal. And guys, the thing is, Trump isn't dumb. He knows what his base wants. He's catering to his base MAGA supporters. This racist behavior is meant to appeal directly to them. Republican Party under Trump is so anti-diversity. Currently, 85% of Republican voters are white, which is basically the main reason they've been pushing for white supremacy and white nationalism. I can bet this. You can't name one Republican that is for DEI. Not one Republican talks about bringing diversity to the party. Diversity for Republicans means more white people from Europe. It's just insane that we've been normalized with all this crap. All these MAGA pundits, when they've questioned Trump's ape video, they just go like, yeah, it's bad. They wouldn't say it's racist. They wouldn't say Trump shouldn't have posted it. These vile MAGA pundits take these lines because they know this entire party is based on racism. The majority of its voters are racist. They like this kind of stuff. That's why these MAGA pundits have to just toe the line blindly.
And doubling down on that to the the Obama video, it kept his reaction to it kept the story alive for far longer than it could have been. The buck stops at his desk. It shouldn't have been up. I made a mistake. It's gone. Instead, we lingered on it. And it's clear to me that one of the things that bothers Trump a lot is being called a racist. I don't believe he fancies himself that way. I don't think many people, at least folks in that room, I don't particularly think he is, although I have very much disagreements, just like Shemichael, about Philadelphia and other things. When he talks about criminal justice reform, I think he really cared about that issue. When he talked about opportunity zones, I actually really do think he cared about trying to bring prosperity into minority-heavy neighborhoods. I do actually think he cares about bringing crime down in those neighborhoods across America that he's trying to focus on. I do think he cares about that. I do think, however, he steps on those messages when things like this Philadelphia example.
Every black person he name-checked today is a celebrity. So my question is...
Well, no, there was a grandmother who lost her son to violence who spoke about it. Yeah. His criminal czar who was released.
They were featured speakers, but these are not people who are his friends. These are people who were there as scheduled speakers. Okay, well, listen. It's not that people say that Trump is a racist, it's that the housing department in the 1970s said he and his father were racist. It's that the Central Park Five, for whom he demanded the death penalty and has never apologized, think he's a racist. It's just that this week he used the death of Jesse Jackson to attack Barack Obama. In the statement he put out on Truth Social, Barack Obama, who lives rent-free in his head, he has got a long track record. It's calling the countries that people like I come from shithole countries. It's saying that Haitians eat cats and dogs. I mean, we could sit here all night and trace back all of the racist things he has said and done through his lifetime, not just his presidency.
Well, and it's not just him. It's also Stephen Miller, and it's all of the people surrounding him. And one of the first acts that they did was make sure that they have a problem. They want everyone to know they have a problem with diversity. Diversity is what makes this country strong. It is what makes this country great. And the entire Republican Party wants to completely erase diversity.
That's not
I mean,
true.
How many times?
The entire Republican Party, that's half of the country?
I will say the Republican Party goes out, or at least the core.
That's a logical fallacy.
At least the core of the Republican Party has been against DEI.
But do you not acknowledge that this anti-diversity, anti-DEI thing has been a core tenet of the second Trump administration?
That's not my issue. She said the entire Republican Party.
They're
against
half
DEI.
Of the
country. You're telling me half of the country is racist?
Fine, I'm not saying that they're racist.
She didn't say that. But if you think the anti-DEI thing is racist, that's also,
I haven't given an opinion on DEI. That's not my point. I just think we shouldn't be flippant calling half of the country racist.
I am saying they support but they support a president in this administration who is against DEI. I mean, that is just the reality.
And
I don't know how many times
you've worked with Republican members.
I've worked with Republicans, and I don't know how many times even.
You think all of them are racist?
I am not saying they're racist. You're putting words in my mouth. I'm saying they are against diversity.
I'm very confused.
Hold on, I want to go back to this diversity.
But I think when you say anti-diversity, I think most people would say, well, if you're anti-diversity, then you're racist. I think
that's not what I said. They do not want diversity. They do not want diversity in their administration.
But I'm just saying,
end of story.
When people hear anti-diversity, I mean, I can just tell you, people typically think if you're anti-diversity, then you're probably a racist person.
But why? So then, hold on. So why does the president want diversity in his administration?
You should ask Trump. I don't know. I'm not Trump.
Well, why is
This MAGA idiot is derailing the conversation on purpose. He's playing semantics. You mean the 100% Republicans, even the babies? I hate when they argue like this. This is classic Republican debate style. Whenever they feel like they're losing the debate, they start talking stupid. And it works great on stupid MAGA voters too, because MAGA voters, they just aren't the brightest of people. And secondly, guys, I've been saying a lot of this on this channel. When you see Trump making racist posts on social media, it's nothing but rage bait to distract the public from the Epstein files. I mean, he's mentioned 38,000 times in the Epstein files. He has to do crazy stuff every other day, like this ape video, to keep the nation distracted. Almost every single day, Trump does something that in another, better world would result in him being utterly disqualified from holding public office. And yet, he acts and speaks with impunity and encourages his mindless followers to do the same. And guys, one thing that we forgot about MAGA is that the MAGA movement has always been about white supremacy. Non-white MAGA is being purged. The first thing we need to understand is that MAGA pretty much coalesced around the idea that a black man had no business in the White House and chose the loudest dog whistler as their leader. I mean, it's pretty gross when you think about it. It's basically MAGA's way of saying, we'd rather be led by the worst white man we can find because he is still better than the best black man you can find.
I think that's a really important statement that you just made. I mean, I'm not sure that even people would go that far. You just suggested that being anti-diversity is equivalent to being racist.
I think many people would see it that way.
Well, this is an administration who has been explicitly anti-diversity. The Department of Defense has banned celebrations of Black History Month.
Abby, that's not my quarrel. My issue is calling the entire Republican Party racist.
I'm just saying.
Every single person that voted Republican.
Just to be clear.
Just like, come on. That sounds like BS, and I can't say what I really want to say, but that sounds like BS.
Just to be clear, this administration has been explicitly anti-diversity.
That's fine to be critical. That's fine to be critical of Trump. It's fine to be critical of the administration. But you cannot cast aspersions against the entire party.
Listen, the vast majority of the party supports everything he does, including this. Okay, Anna did a great job of ticking off several things that he's done. What we shouldn't do is sit here and pretend that the facts aren't the facts. Okay, why isn't a flag at half-staff for Jesse Jackson? You wrote an amazing book about Jesse Jackson, who was instrumental in changing the way the Democratic Party pulled in minorities. And there's not a flag for this guy. So with all due respect, if you want to mince words about was it all the Republicans, half the Republicans, three-quarters of the Republicans. Hang on a second.
I mean,
the point is that it's very simple for the average guy and woman sitting at home. They look at a pattern of behavior of any human being and say, that's what that guy is. Trump has gone from 30% to 13.5% black voter support in the last year. Do you know why he's doing the slavery thing in Philadelphia? One more second.
I don't need to be lectured on
I'm not lecturing, but I should be able. The fact that you're an African American doesn't mean that I can't make this point. That's not fair. You're trying to manipulate the conversation. I'm not going to let you do that.
Who said anything
so what
about
I'm saying is, when he does all of these things, just to wrap this up, when he does all of these things and people see it, he doesn't care in the second term because he doesn't need the black vote anymore because he's not running again.
If he loses that black male vote, that Latino male vote.
Well, Anna's right about that.
He had historical numbers that I couldn't understand, but he did. He had historical numbers with black men and Latino men. And that has gone down a cliff because a lot of it is because these men who gave him a pass on a lot of things and thought he's going to be great for the economy, cannot now overlook the racism they are seeing in front of their eyes. The Latino men who voted for him cannot overlook the fact of the racial profiling and the dragging of people that sound like them and look like them through the streets, and of the shooting of U.S. citizens who are Latino just because they happen to look like I do and Xochitl does.
Sure. But I think also there's some economic issues. My point here is simply this. You can have whatever gripes you want to have with Trump on race. I'm not debating that. My issue is half of the country vote Republican. You know a lot of people are Republican. Let me finish, Sochi, please. And I don't like when you cast aspersions against half the country any more than when my own side says every single Democrat is some radical socialist. That's not true. It's not true.
The official stance of the Republican Party is Trump's stance, which is that they do not believe in diversity in this administration. That is the official stance of the Republican Party.
All right, next
I think it's more nuanced.
I really don't get this MAGA idiot. Sure, Michael? I mean, come on, dude. I understand you're a Trump bootlicker, but you're also a black person. And Trump is targeting your race right now. He's compared your race to apes in his social media posts. And you're still sitting here like an idiot trying to defend him? I mean, how can one be so shameless? And guys, get this. If you're not white, you can't be part of MAGA. They'll never consider you as equal. Remember how MAGA targeted J.D. Vance's wife just because she's Indian? They never really accepted her as part of the MAGA clan. They targeted her from day one. And I believe that very soon, you're going to see J.D. divorce her because that's the only way he's going to get MAGA support in the coming election. Maybe he'll marry Erica Kirk because she's racist to the core. And MAGA loves her for that. MAGA will never, ever support Vance with Usha beside him. And when he divorces her, they'll justify it and get enthusiastic support by turning it into a religious thing. Like, JD really struggled with his wife not being Christian. He prayed and prayed on it, and the Lord told him he belongs with a Christian woman, and Usha wouldn't convert. So obviously, he had to divorce her. I mean, expect anything from these people. They've gone morally bankrupt at this point. If you look at Trump, he is openly making racist comments. He fears nobody these days. He doesn't give a damn about non-white people anymore. He knows his MAGA base is mostly white, and they love him for his racist attitude. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it here for today. I'll see you again tomorrow with another video.